Hi guys, it's Josh Lloyd here for your NBA DraftKings first look for Thursday after the trade deadline. It's going to be. We've got 5 games on. Hit the subscribe button before you go anywhere. Hit the bell so you get notifications. Be a part of the notification gang. Give a thumbs up as well while you're here. Drop your comments down below. And before we talk about these games, just one thing. This is the first look. I am recording this while games are actually still happening on Wednesday. There is going to be a lot of stuff change. So this is an initial look. Now, most of these videos, I'm pretty confident with what I say with most of the times. For this one, I'm not as confident. I know this is not me selling you on this, but I don't know who's going to be traded. I don't know if there's going to be 30 blokes on new teams, and then there's multiple scratches, and we get these weird value plays like Jared Harper gets 40 minutes because the Knicks have traded 7 guys away. I don't know if any of that stuff's going to happen. Like, there is a lot that can change, so make sure you're staying up to date with the news before you get your lineups ready. We're just going over what looks like, what the lineups look like, what the value looks like just at this point. So, in saying that, let's look at the Washington Wizards. Let's look at the New York Knicks. The Knicks are unbelievably only a 2.5-point favorite. Vegas has no idea on this one again. They played each other 2 days ago, and the Knicks were 2-point favorites in that one. They won by like 18. So, yeah. Blowout risk for sure here. Derrick Rose, not on the injury report, but he's still dealing with conditioning problems. We don't know if he's going to play, but then that just puts a cramp on him and Payton and Quickly and Burks and Bullock. It becomes a real mess that Tommy Thibodeau is going to have to sort out. And of course, you know how he's going to sort it out. He's going to just take Emmanuel Quickly and play him 6 minutes. That is what is going to happen in that scenario. And then speaking of nonsense rotation, Scott Brooks. Last game, we got Mo Wagner back. And he played a ton of minutes, and he played well. Does that mean he goes back to starting? Does he stay as the third center? I don't know. 19 DraftKings points at 3,100 is definitely something that should pique your interest coming off the bench, but I don't know if it'll happen again. I don't know what the hell Scott Brooks is going to do, and he doesn't know what he's going to do, unfortunately. I think we love the other side of this equation. 5,100 for Mitch Robinson, who, in his second game back, just dropped a casual 41 points. Now, I don't expect him to do that. He may not even play the 31 minutes, but I'm pretty interested in him at that salary. Julius Randle at 10-2 is absolutely rock solid at the moment. He's just giving us 50s every night, dealing them out like they're going out of fashion. And Russ Westbrook, 10,900 for Russie. He's dropping 63 a night. In his last 5, that's pretty bloody hard to complain about. Much rather them than someone like Brad Beal. Even Hachimura is not all that exciting to me. I like Alec Burks, but at 5,800 and the uncertainty in his minutes with maybe Derrick Rose playing makes me somewhat cautious there, and I wouldn't want to use Rose or Payton. Damn, I wouldn't want to use Quickly or Avdia either because, again, there's going to be real issues with how their minutes go under 2 of the most frustrating coaches for dealing with young players and promising players in Tommy Thibodeau and Scotty Brooks. Next game, Portland taking on the Miami Heat. Miami, one of those teams that's been rumored a lot in trade deals. Portland, maybe not so much, but there could be some big changes here for this Blazers squad. But I am looking at a bloke they just got, 3,100 for Trev Ariza. Now, if they're going in and they're getting a Kyle Lowry, does that mean that someone like Kelly Olynyk is going back as matching salary? 3,100 for Trevor Ariza. 16 and 16 the last 2 games. Well, that's already value there. That is enough. Could he have 25 in a situation where he has to play 28 minutes? Yeah, absolutely. Love him here. Love Bam Adebayo at 8,000 as well. Some pretty good value going up against Enes Kanter. Well, Jim Butler at 9,000 had that real hot streak, and that has faded away. So I am not super keen on Butler at that sort of salary. 5,700 for Robbie Covington is all right. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. While Enes Kanter dropped a casual 55 last game. Do I believe in that against Bam Adebayo? Absolutely not. Damian Lillard's at 10,000, and he has been really nowhere near that, averaging under 38 points in his last 3 games. Against the Miami defense, I'm not going to be too excited. Goran Dragic is questionable, so I don't think we need to care too much about him, but then that impacts guys like Kendrick Nunn, who also had an absolutely huge one, 33 points last game. He's at 4,600. He's only just that GPP guy, but I don't feel super confident, and I wouldn't feel super confident with Kelly Olynyk, whose recent production has been on the decline as well. Next game, this one here is a back-to-back. These teams played on Wednesday. It's the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers here are 6-point favorites. You would think that that's a margin that by the time the game starts will have probably blown out a little bit in the Clippers' favor. The Clippers could make a move. Maybe it's someone like Lou Williams moving on, Patrick Beverly moving on. Not enough that's going to change their rotation too much. While the Spurs, if it's someone like Aldridge that's moved, it doesn't actually have any impact on what they're going to do. If we look at the values sitting in this one, Paul George at 7,800. That always looks good to me at that sort of salary for Georgie. And then you got Zubats at 5,600, who'll be the starter once again without Serge Ibaka there. Derek White's at 5,800. Yeah, no, I'm not super in on that. It's okay. I think Kawhi at 8,800 looks pretty strong to me. Also, and then you got Marcus Morris at 48, who had a really strong beginning to the game against the Spurs on Wednesday. At that sort of salary with his penchant for putting up shots, that can work. 74 for DeJounte's probably too high. 57 for Keldon's all right, but probably more for GPPs. While DeMar DeRozan at 8,200. I don't mind that. I think there's probably limited upside in DeRozan at 8,200, who I do not expect to be traded, by the way. So that could be all right. Jakob Poeltl's at 5,900. Also probably, I think, for Yak, just a little bit there on the high side for him. This next game is pretty interesting. The Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. No Steph Curry, and we know that James Wiseman will be starting again. We don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but there's also a bloke who's absolutely just hanging out there, staring at you like a something. I don't know, Kelly Oubre. He may not be on this team, and that could open up some real bench minutes here. But Wiseman's at 4,800, and while he hasn't been impressive when he's been out there, that's a really strong salary for a guy that can very easily get 20, maybe even 30 points, especially against a Kings team, which I think it's a good matchup for him. And then Jordan Poole, who'll start in place of Curry, who's putting up some really strong numbers, Geordie, most of these games. 26, 42, 34, 34. Like, they're good numbers. So over 30 in 3 of the last 4, which at 6,100 is pretty good value. And then that last game where he shot only 31%, that really dipped his value, but still got 26. Richaun Holmes at 73. I think he's going to tear Wiseman a new one. Big numbers coming for Holmesy if he's not traded. While Tyrese Halliburton at 6,000 also looks pretty bloody good to me. I am all about that one. Andy Wiggins at 67 is all right, but I'm not into it. And then Oubre at 6,200. One thing I feel confident about is saying don't use Oubre and Wiggins together. They feel like they alternate good games. Not necessarily one game good, one guy's bad, and then on and off that way. It's like Wiggins will have 6 good ones, and then Oubre will have 12, and then Wiggins will have 3, and then it goes all over the place. So I wouldn't want to use them together. Draymond's at 7,700, and that is probably a little bit on the high side here. And the last game, which could have been a marquee matchup, Embiid, Simmons versus Davis and LeBron. We've got one of those guys playing, and that is Ben Simmons. Everyone else is out. Simmons is at 8,600, and even then, I don't know, I think it's a little bit too high. He is averaging 46 in the last 3 games, against the Lakers, but I'm not really feeling that. Dennis Schroeder at 68, I think, has got some upside, but if Simmons clamps him down, then he's in real trouble. Montrezl Harrell at 7,000. Will they start Devontae Kachuk again because Harrell's petrified of starting? Maybe, but Harrell's going to play a lot of minutes, so there's some value in him, and I think there is some value also in Kyle Kuzma at 6,900. And is there a salary that more typifies a bloke than 6,900 for Kyle Kuzma? I don't think so. Tone Bradley's at 4,300. He just dropped a casual 41 last game on the Golden State Warriors. Now, do you believe Tony Bradley is that player? Because you shouldn't, but that is obviously very, very intriguing. And even then, there's a 27-point game against the Kings in 24 minutes. He's at least worth a look as your GPP option. Taylon Horton Tucker's at 56. That feels too high for a bloke that played only 19 minutes last game, while the thick hogsman Tobias Harris, 8,400 for Toby. He should be good for 45. I think he could be good for 50. I think this matchup is going to be awesome for him, so I am all about looking at Big Tobe Harris. Again, so much can change here. The Sixers, they're going to be super active. I think the Warriors are going to make some deals. I think the Kings are going to make some deals. I think the Heat are going to make some deals, and I think the Knicks could be in on some stuff as well. So there's going to be some things that do change across this slate of games that you need to be on the lookout for. But let's give some overall early value options. I like Wiseman and Poole, love Ariza, Paul George, Zubats, Adebayo, Jim Butler a little bit, Richaun Holmes, Kawhi Leonard, Harrison Barnes, Mo Wagner maybe, Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, Bud Hield, Rowan Barrett at 68 looks okay as well. Dennis Schroeder at 6,800. Then Mitchie Robinson at 5,100. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And you can also check out my channel, which is linked in the title and in the description. Josh Lloyd Fantasy Basketball. Check me out over there, guys. We are done here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.